advice. Now sit back and relax while you get advice that will take you to the next destination in your career or business. And now, Katrina Brittingham. Hello, hello, hello. This is Katrina Brittingham, your navigator on your road to success. And I have my handsome co host, Dr. The Real Deal Love.
Hello, hello, hello.
So, today our topic is going
Mhm,
to build on success strategies for entrepreneurs and business owners. And so we're just going to go through some things, some more technical things,
okay.
as opposed to principles. And the first thing you want to do, because we talked about having a vision. Well,
Mhm,
where does that vision go and where does it start? It starts in a business plan.
mhm,
I've heard people say, oh, you don't need a business plan and everything like that. And this was like business 101. You always had to have a business plan. I am still a firm believer on having a business plan and updating your business plan on a regular basis. A business plan helps you materialize your ideas on paper. Remember, we were talking about writing the vision and
mhm,
making it plain. Okay. So those that see it will run to perform it. Okay. So writing it down on paper helps you, first and foremost, envision how your business will operate. Okay. So your business plan should answer the following questions:
mhm,
what is your product or service? What are the priorities of your business? Okay. Where will you be operating your business? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be a brick and mortar? What state are you going to be operating it in? Are you going to be national, international, local, or regional? Okay. Where do you see your business in 5 years? Okay. When will you operate your business? When are you going to start your plan? Why should people buy your product or service?
mhm,
Who is your target audience or your niche? Who is your competition? How will the day to day operations be run? How will you deal with unforeseen emergencies or what's your crisis management plan? Okay. So these are a few things that will help you in brainstorming your business plan. The more questions you can answer, the more clarity you will have about running your business. Because remember, you want to be clear on what you're
mhm.
doing. Okay. So I'm just going to take a little bit to go through some of these things. What is your product or service? Writing that down, putting that thing in order. Why? Because when you present it out to people, when you're going for presentations, people are going to ask, what service do you provide? What product do you provide? Have a clear explanation on what you do or what you provide. Every company does it. Even when you go and you see commercials and things like that, it explains what the product or service is. So
Mhm.
it's clear to people and you can drive that need. I answer this pain. I provide this. I make your life easier this way. These are the features of your product. You want to know what the features of your product is or the features of your service. Okay. Where will you be operating your business? Because you want to be able to have people who are local be able to find you. Are you going to have a physical address where you meet people face to face, where people can buy your product or service? Bless you.
Thank you.
Or if you're online, what's your website? So people can go and purchase your services online if you're doing online retail. Okay. Um, where do you want to be in 5 years? This is part of having that vision of where you're going. Now, things do change But at least if you have a guide, you can see where your business is going and how it's going to develop and branch off. We talked about how I started and then I added on project things and products and services to the business because I knew
Mhm.
or had an idea of where I wanted to be
Mhm.
in 5 years. I was able to do that even when things twisted and turned a little bit. um, it didn't necessarily throw my business off or take me by surprise. A lot of that is the market research that you do. What are the trends? Where are things going? Um, One of the things that could kill a business is you have this service and you have no vision for where you want to be. Okay. And then you find out there's in 5 years, there's not going to be a need for your product or service. These are things that you need to know. These are things that you need to adjust to. Okay. Um, when will your business operate? When are you going to officially open your doors, launch your website, and things like that? Because these are things that you want to announce to people. Even if you're in business for a while, the first thing they ask, even on your tax return, when was your business established? So these are the things that you need to know. Um, why should people buy your service? What makes your service or product any different than someone else's, your competitors? What is the thing that you do that makes your product or service unique? Okay. For me, when I answered that, I let people know I have concierge service. My service is tailored to my client. I do a little more hand holding, like I walk you through the process. These are the things that make me unique, and it speaks to a certain clientele. Okay. So everybody's not going to work with me because they may not need that level of service. But this speaks to a certain clientele and they come to me because I have that concierge service. I have that service where I am a little more hands on. I'm there from the beginning, the middle, the end, and I'm able to have a service, which I do have the main service, but everybody's situation is unique, and I'm able to adjust and even adjust on the fly
Mhm.
with it. How do you deal? What is your market segment? Who are you selling to? Is there a great market for it, or will you eventually run out of the clientele that you need? Like if you only have 20 people who need your service, once you service those 20 people, then what happens to your business? These are the things that you need to look for. Who are your competition? What are they providing? What services are they're providing, and how are they doing it, and how are they presenting it out? That's how you determine how you are unique as well. Okay, how do you answer the pain of the people that your competition is not reaching?
Mhm.
Okay, how will you handle your day to day operations? Do you need certain systems in place? Do you need certain equipment? How much staff do you need? How often will you meet with your staff? What do you need as far as operations? Do you need managers? Do all these things you need to answer, even if you don't have them when you open up your door and you're a solopreneur. You need to know what you're going to need to make sure that your business runs smoothly. As your business grows, what are the things that you're going to need to run your business? How will you deal with any unforeseen things? Like um every time we have something, like when we had the recession, we had people that went out of business because they did not foresee that. They did not foresee that emergency. If you have a natural disaster, how are you going to handle that and keep your business up and running? How are you going to, do you have insurance? These types of things that will cover you if something were to happen. Okay. What do you do if someone slips and falls at your place? What are you going to do if an employee slips and falls at your place or gets injured at your place? Are you covered for that? These are the things that you have to foresee. You hope that they never happen, but you want to be prepared for them. What if you have a cyber attack? What if the power goes out where you are? How are you going to handle that? What if they shut the world down? A lot of people, um, and it wasn't just retail where people came into stores, a lot of businesses um, went out of business because they couldn't handle it. They did not have a crisis management plan. They didn't have laptops for people to go home, and internet set up. And so they were trying to fix this on the fly. Some companies were able to do it. Some companies already had an emergency management program where they had their staff be able to work remotely. These are the things that you want to look into prior to and have a plan or start working on that plan for
Mhm.
such occasions. Um, All right, so that's those are the quick questions for your business plan, and this is not even really getting deep into the business plan because there are other things that you want to have in there, your financial plan and things like that. But these are the key things that you want to have answered in your business plan. It also helps because you need financing for your business. Initially, you may bootstrap, but you may want to get grants. You may want to get loans. Guess what the first thing they ask for? Can we have a copy of your business plan? And so you don't want to be sitting in front of people who will possibly fund you and don't have a business plan to furnish or say, oh, I gotta get that to you. Guess what? It makes you look unprepared and unprofessional.
Mhm.
Any comments, Doctor?
I thought it was a good segment when you were talking about knowing your staff, and I just wanted to add knowing the cost of your staff, and that's such a good statement in terms of
Mhm.
projection because I was just talking with my daughter about that, and her business is growing to a certain point, and we've been telling her about structuring your business because business people oftentimes are not small. They're not small, detail oriented people. We oftentimes see the big picture. The big picture. This is what it's going to look like. But as you just gave the list, what does it look like? What is your business plan? What is your projection? What is it, if a slip and fall? All those
Mhm.
things. How much is my insurance going to cost me for the year? What kind of policy do I need? How many, in a year or two, how much staff am I going to need, and what I want to pay them. You don't have to have
Mhm.
the money to pay them, but you want to know I need 4 staff members, and that's going to cost me $300,000 a year to pay my staff what I want to pay them.
Mhm.
It's going to cost me 150,000 if I pay each one of them 50. What are you going to pay your staff? See, it's just great, and I didn't have the insight that Miss Katrina has given tonight to just know a pencil and paper, you can have all that down and you don't have to have none of it in terms of cost or spending. It's just a plan on paper. And then you can begin to implement it from there. But
Mhm.
you at least know what your business looks like. So that was
Mhm.
just just a great list.
Well, because here's the thing: it's the unknowns in business that can kill your business.
Hmm.
And so you want to make sure that you cover those things. When you were talking about salary and how much a staff members will cost, I was just looking at something online about a famous musician. I will not mention that person's name, but they were making millions of dollars. They employed a lot of people, and we as business owners, we're meeting a need. We
Hmm.
want to help people, and they brought on staff, and they wound up busting their budget because their staff costs $1 million a month.
Okay.
It was unforeseen expenses, and it was
Right.
expenses that was not sustainable for them at that time. So,
Mm-hmm.
what is that called? A lot of businesses do it. It's called growing too fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when you grow too fast, as far as having staff and things like that, without projecting to see the income that comes in and everything, you can end up tanking your business. Not because you didn't know how to do the business, not because you didn't know your product or service, but just because your overhead was too much.
Mm-hmm.
And overhead is includes your staff, supplies, whatever your expenses are. So you want to have your expenses also accounted for and account for the growth. And sometimes you need to grow a little bit slower. Okay. It helps you
Mm-hmm.
even decide if you want to do contractors as opposed to full time workers or part time workers or even seasonal workers. So
Mm-hmm.
you can bring in staff for the time that you need it and not necessarily have them in full time 365 days a year and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are the things when you put it on paper, like you said, it's a plan. And as we know, plans can change and things can evolve and things like that. So one of the things you want to do with a business plan is check it regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Most people say at least once a year. I tell people at least 6 months. Me, if I mean, in a perfect world, quarterly. That's how fast things change in business. And so you can see where you are. You can see if you're meeting your goal financially. You can
Mm-hmm.
see if you're meeting your goal as far as operationally and things like that. And you can look and see if you're off track because you can get off track and how to get back on track. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're off track because your business took a certain turn because of the market. And so then you can prepare for that. Any systems and things that you use, what are you planning to use as far as systems for setting your appointments and things like that? These are things that you want to consider because again, it could be a cost to it. um you know it could be something that you have to manage, or maybe it's something you don't want to manage and maybe you need to bring staff in. One thing that people don't consider also with hiring staff is the cost to hire.
Mm-hmm.
There is a cost to hire. If you're posting the job out and everything like that, those different things cost money to do. It's expensive to hire staff. The second one goes right along with it because we're talking about cost, is being frugal. Frugal. Ooh, I can't talk.
Mm-hmm.
Frugal.
Yes, you got it.
Basically, take a look at your budget.
Mm-hmm.
Have a budget. Number one, have a business budget.
Mm-hmm.
What do you plan to spend in that year?
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole thing is in business, you want to make a profit. Many times for the first 5 years, you're breaking even. Are you breaking even? What is your break even point?
Mm-hmm.
These are things that you need to know. Okay. Um, think twice before buying anything or signing a lease, even when it comes to the building. If you can buy the building, that's better. But if you're doing a lease, you want to be able to look at that paperwork, look at the fine print. Are there any other costs, anything else that you have to pay for? Electric, heat, air, these types of things will be a cost for you. Water, because guess what? People have to go to the bathroom, and that's
Mm-hmm.
water.
Yes. Well, I wanted to jump in and just really put emphasis on signing, and that's one of the things that we really want to tell business owners. Don't sign nothing that you haven't taken your time to read. You've got to read it. That's so important to be a businessman or be a businesswoman that is poised and like this needs to be done now. Well,
Mhm.
it can't be done now because I haven't read it yet.
Right,
Because once you sign it, it'll hold up in court. I didn't read the fine print. Well, too bad. It
right.
was there. Okay. you've got to read. And I made the mistake of doing that sometime. You don't want to sit there and hold up the deal. You know what I mean? You don't want to sit there and hold people up, so you just lean through it and sign. I want to encourage you, take time and read it, be comfortable with it. If you don't understand it, ask the question. Don't worry about looking dumb or looking like you're not with it, or you're a little slow. People say, "Why you didn't?" No, I don't understand line C and D. What are you asking me for? And then make sure you're comfortable and you understand it. That's important.
Absolutely. Like I read everything. Like I sit there, my deals, everything, even down to buying a car, whatever. I read every line, every single line.
Hmm.
And if something doesn't sound right, I'm like, I don't agree with this.
Hmm.
I've frustrated many of people. I've had people tell me off.
Hmm.
I've had people tell me, well, basically I didn't understand because I was a woman.
Hmm.
All kinds of things. But
Yeah, yeah. You'll get that.
it also helps you negotiate the deal. If you know what you're talking about, because people will try to sneak things under the wire. And
Ooh,
as a business person, I tell people, especially when it comes to a business contract, get a lawyer to look over that.
yes. And that's wise. You should
Because
have an
even
attorney.
right. And even sometimes when they explain it to you, it's not exactly what it means and everything. And so if you hire a lawyer, this lawyer is working for you. So they're going to tell you this isn't a good deal.
Hmm.
So you want to make sure that you do know, like he said, what the fine print is. And you want to determine if that expenditure is a necessary and good, because that's what we're talking about there, making sure it's a good investment, but making
Hmm.
sure it's a necessary investment for your business.
Hmm.
If you can do your business online with the same quality, why rent an office? Why?
Hmm.
If you need one, why lease an office building or a floor when they have shared space? You could just rent a single office
For when you need it.
for when you need it.
Yes.
But even still, you want to put that in the budget. I'm gonna be using this office 2 times a week for how many weeks? You want to make sure you have that budgeted out,
Hmm.
and make sure that it is affordable to you. Um, these are the things that you want to do. Um, refer to your business plan with your expenditures to see if that's what you need, and ask yourself if the purchase will contribute to your overall success in business, as well as any of the additional costs that you could be incurring by having this.
Hmm.
Because again, you get an office, there's things that you have to have, like you said, the electric, the water, coffee. If you provide coffee there, that's an expense. Paper, the copier, the toner for the copier, all the I can go on and on about the different expenses
That's right.
that you can
You
have.
when you said coffee, that triggered in me like a smart entrepreneur. Um, Starbucks was created to be a place between home and business, home and work. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So Starbucks, I mean, think about it. I mean, they want you to come in, they want you to meet there, they want you to buy their coffee. You know what I'm saying? So before you actually buy a space, you have businesses like Starbucks that you could actually use to meet people and you know what I mean? I mean, you got to buy something and eat something, but you know, it's just a phenomenal place. And there's other businesses like that where I mean, it's like tap into their Wi-Fi. I met someone at Starbucks and it was like, you go ask them what is I mean, I don't know what it is, but they told me to go ask them what is the code or what is that thing you got to have for Wi-Fi? You know what I'm saying? So they give you all that so you can get your computer out. I mean, you could just do so many things at Starbucks and not have the expense of an ongoing rental or lease, no expenses. You know what I mean? So exhaust things like that, opportunities like that. Starbucks, exhaust them. Talk to the manager and let them know. You know what I mean? I really need to use your place like 3 times a week for meetings or 4 times a week. Is that okay? You know what I mean? And establish a personal relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? And it'll just make the business deals, the transactions so much better because the servers will know that you're coming. They will know you by name. Um, it's impressive. You know, a friend of mine, well, actually not a friend of mine, but a colleague of mine, we met for the first time, and I wanted to take him to lunch, but he was too busy. Then we started talking. He said, "All right, I'm going to take you to lunch." So we go to Bookbinders, and Miss Katrina know that she's a Philadelphian, so she knows Bookbinders is one of our better restaurants. And we get in there, and the first thing the waiter D says, "Hello, Mr. Dillon. How are you? Are you in town for business?" You know how impressive that is when the people around you in the business know you by name.
Mhm.
So that was just really important to share with you. There are some things that you can do before just taking out the responsibility of a lease or rental.
Mhm. And there is, and I will take this a step further because their Wi-Fi is a public Wi-Fi. So one thing you might want to consider is getting a secure VPN. So
Okay.
you can tap into that, but your materials and your customers are secure. Um,
Okay.
because in the beginning, when like everyone did it and everything like that, but then now you have cyber criminals.
Yes.
And so, because it's a public Wi Fi, what most people fail to realize is that it's shared. So, you can have people on that Wi Fi and they will, and you'll see the thing come up on your computer. Is this a public thing? If so, other people can see your internet transactions.
Uh-huh. See that?
So getting you can do that, but make sure that you secure your documentation. That's another thing that should be in your business plan. What is your security policy? What are you going to do to secure your customers' private information?
Hmm.
Okay. Um, PH they have PHI for protected health and PII for personal identifier something. Okay,
Hmm.
identifiable information. So that's huge right now. Um, as more and more companies are getting hacked,
Oh
um,
yes. Cyber
and they're
crime. Whew.
and they're doing it to large companies, but guess what? They're doing it to smaller ones as well. I had because I have the security on my thing, and I've gotten notices. Someone tried to access your thing, and I'm like, what? I was like, I must be doing something right because somebody's coming
Hmm.
coming for me, trying to get my stuff, trying to get my
Trying to.
people's stuff.
So that means you got something. If they're trying to get something from you, that means you got something. If
Because
you
the
ain't got
biggest
nothing, ain't nobody trying to get nothing from you.
right, and the biggest thing that can hurt your business is if people's personal information gets out.
Yes.
And everything, and it's connected to you is it messes with your credibility, and everything like that. So these are things that you want to make sure that you have in place and that you have a plan. That's part of an emergency plan, is part of the cyber security and making sure that people's documents are digitally secure. Um, and it's everyone because you get credit card information and everything like that. People can snatch that stuff and now they've stolen your customer's identity, and when they go to research it they find out it's your company. That's really bad. So you want to make sure that you have that.
Hmm.
And that leads into number three, which is I'm going to bring up this topic and then we're going to go to commercial because we're at the half already. Is continually educate yourself. So that's one of the things. Um, like Dr. Love said, Starbucks, um, Corner Bakery, all of these places are friendly. They want you to come in. They want you to have your business. They want you to sit there. They want you to, they have a plan too. You drink coffee, you eat and everything. You stay a little bit longer. Hey, do your business because people are going to buy,
Hmm.
and everything like that. Um, and so it was a great thing and it was a great plan until people caught on to it and everything, as people still use the Wi-Fi and everything like that there. But just make sure that your people's data is protected, and that's something about educating yourself on how these things happen, so you are protected and your people are protected.
Hmm.
Your customers are protected. So you want to be a avid learner. So you can attend live seminars, webinars, um, and things like that, online, in person, these kind of events that you can go to, get books and read books on topics. Um, you know, it could be entrepreneurs that you admire, or maybe you might find an entrepreneur that you didn't know about, and they give you some hints and features that you did not know. Okay. Um, you can learn things from people that are not and even in the field with you, because the principles of business are pretty much the same across the board. So you never know who you can learn from. So don't just limit yourself to the field. Um, you can talk to or go to a seminar with a motivational speaker, and they might have something that can motivate you or give you a tip that you did not know. Um, you can observe how other business owners solve problems, learn from other business owners' mistakes. I've done that, and other people have learned from my mistakes.
Hmm.
Look, y'all learning from y'all do this show. Y'all learn from my mistakes. Like,
Hmm.
don't do that. Please don't do that. I did
Hmm.
it, and this is what happened to me. So it'll stop you from making mistakes that could be very costly to you. And I'm going to have Dr. Love say something after we come back from break, but we'll see you back in 30.
And we'll be back.
From one-on-one executive coaching to our business building concierge service, Venture Ready helps entrepreneurs, startup executives, and business owners build, scale, and run their businesses using techniques that support stability and long-term growth. Through the Career GPS radio show and High Tea with Me TV program, we promote smart business strategies for the real world. Then, in our one-on-one coaching programs, we help entrepreneurs go beyond the vision board to realize their big vision into a tangible business with a promising future. If you're waiting to feel legit, here's the thing: you have to legitimize yourself. It's time to stop treating your business like a hobby. Get real, it's your career. So let me ask you, are you venture ready?
All right, and we are back. So I'm going to ask you that question: are you venture ready?
Are
Do
you
you
venture
have some
ready?
things in your business that you need to have shown up? If we're talking about things and you're already in business and you like, oh, I need to tighten some things up, we can help you tighten things up. If you're trying to start business and start up and need to have that foundation, you can reach out to us and we can help you get everything together for you. All right. So, and we have concierge service, so you can have different pieces that you need, or you can take the whole package and we can walk you start to finish through your process. It is up to you, but we can help you get venture ready. All right. So we were talking about continually educating yourself. Do you have anything to add to that, Doctor?
Continue to educate yourself. That is so important. As I continue to get younger each year, they say the key to longevity is age-long learning.
Mm-hmm.
Age-long learning. So to actually call on your mind and your brain and your memory to learn some things different is just a benefit for you and longevity, but also it's just a win-win because it actually takes your business to the next level. And that's where we always want to go. We always want to go to the next level. Today I'm doing it this way. And you always want to ask yourself the question, is this the best way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it was the best way today doesn't mean it's going to be the best way next week. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and as you know, the only reasons the dinosaurs are not here because they could not adapt. Okay, in business you have to adapt and overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is my
Mm-hmm.
philosophy. More important than the world is changing, how we do things
Yes.
is changing. Okay,
Yes.
we're doing things in a different way. So it's important for us as business owners to unlearn, relearn, and learn new things on a continual basis. Excellent point.
Hmm. And here's the thing: you can teach an old dog new tricks. I'm pointing at myself. My
That's right.
hand is like
That's right. That's
disappearing,
right.
but
That's right.
you
That's right.
can teach an old dog new tricks.
That's right. And that's the thing. If he wants to, you can teach him all kind of stuff because
Yes,
that's what I tell all my people around me. I can give you the how to, but I can't give you the want to.
yes,
So you've got to bring the want to. Do you want to? Because if you want to, the how to, that's a piece of cake.
yes,
So yeah, we can teach that old dog all kind of stuff.
yes, yes. Yes. And so number four, with educating yourself and everything like that, you want to build your A team. Now we talked about this in your business plan. So your business plan encompasses all of this.
Mhm.
So that's why I started out with that because even continuing education, that needs to be in your business plan as well. People are asked, well, how are you going to stay ahead of the trends? How are you going to stay fresh and current? Well, part of that is learning. Um, a lot of people talk about the acronyms behind my name. They came, and it's a whole lot more than this. It came as I developed in um, my corporate career and also the need in business. So you don't necessarily have to get a degree. You can get a certification. I have a whole bunch
Mhm.
of certifications. Um, and so you can have that, and you want to um, have that cost in there. You definitely want to invest in yourself. So
Mhm.
you want to make sure that you have that budgeted. Have a continuing education budget, because guess what? Seminars cost money.
Yes.
Books cost money. And it's the little things, the little foxes that spoil the vine or make your business go down, because
Yeah.
you can have that one expense that puts you over into the red.
Hmm.
And once you get over into the red, it's hard to get back into the black.
Yeah. I was thinking as you was talking about, seminars cost, biz, workshops cost.
Hmm.
Ignorance is extremely costly.
Yeah.
Okay. So budget to elevate yourself and educate yourself so that ignorance don't take you under because it will and it can and it has. Many businesses, went under because the owner, the person at the top, didn't keep growing and developing.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's so important. Continue to educate yourself, to develop yourself, and that was the term, invest in you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I would even say if it looks like your budget's a little tight, I would say bite the bullet and invest in yourself because you could go away to a workshop or a seminar and network with somebody and you could get an ideal to take your business, bam, to the next level and increase, you know what I'm saying, by thousands of dollars. Just
Hmm.
one idea, one technique, doing something differently. You know what I'm saying? So don't underestimate the fact of actually pulling away from your business, going somewhere for a day if you can't afford today, but get away from the business. Go spend some time away because you're going to come back more peaceful, more clear, being able to see things that you wasn't able to see before and do things that you wasn't able to do before. So that's very important. Okay.
Hmm. And you can go away from to a seminar, and I did this broke.
Whew.
And I went to that seminar because I was like, I'm going to go. I just need to get this continuing education. And I came home like, oh my goodness, I don't have any, money for this business and everything like that. And got a call 2 days later with someone I spoke to and walked away with a $20,000 contract
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
business, a $20,000 partnership, um,
Hmm.
referrals to clients. So these things happen. So yeah,
Yes.
you get the ideas and stuff, but you also get the business. Is part of building your network. People
Hmm.
hire who they trust and who they know.
Hmm.
So a lot of times people look at that price tag, oh, I can't go because of that, but you never know what opportunity is waiting there for you.
That's so true.
So part of that is building a winning team. Um, so behind every successful business is a reliable, competent team. No one is an island. You cannot do this alone. I know people say they solopreneurs, but even solopreneurs
Hmm.
are hiring people, even if it's contractors, to do different things.
Absolutely.
So you want to make sure that who you have is competent. I have had full time staff with all the benefits and all of that stuff and all the expenses that came into that. And I've had contractors. I've had some competent ones. I've had some incompetent ones. The
Hmm.
ones that cost you the most are the incompetent ones.
Yes.
Um, because it costs you money, it costs you time because you have to keep going back over their work,
Yeah.
and things like that. It's causing you frustration. It's causing you to take time out to handle that instead of doing what you could be doing that could be making you more money.
Hmm.
So you want to make sure that you have a competent team. You can
Hmm.
have a virtual assistant now that's big
That's real big.
now. But make sure you check out their virtual assistant, check their work, have a performance guarantee. Um, you could work with someone individually who's virtual, or you can work with a company that does it. Um, I have had both. I've had success in both. My preference is to have a company because if you have someone who does not work out or leaves because they got promoted or whatever, they can replace someone like that. It saves on costs of hiring people because you
Hmm.
already have the network, their network, and they want to keep your business, so they bring someone in right away.
Hmm.
If you have a good staff, somebody that um, was good and they're moving on, they will give you a opportunity to have that person train the new person to come in, so it saves you training hours. So again, whatever works for you, but I'm just letting you know
Hmm.
Katrina's preference and why it's Katrina's preference,
Hmm.
just from experience of dealing with this. Okay, you want to have a skilled accountant to go over your books and look at your books, make sure your taxes are filed correctly,
Hmm.
make sure that you are financially sound. So you want to have that. I recommend having a lawyer on retainer. You can go to different places they have online where you can have like a membership and you're paying it every year. But when you need a lawyer, you got the lawyer.
Hmm.
And that could be low cost. Again, put that in your budget
Hmm.
and everything because you might not be able to have a lawyer on staff.
Per
Um,
se.
per se, or just hiring a lawyer, you're paying them by the hour to do things. That might not be affordable to you.
Hmm.
But these services are there, and trust me, they bring competent work, and they
Hmm.
can look over things to make sure that you're legally sound.
Right. And I wanted to just make sure we share the importance of a CPA, a certified public accounting,
Hmm.
and I thought that was so important because if there's a discrepancy, just an accountant can't go and argue on your behalf, but a certified public accountant can not only do their taxes, but they can go before the IRS and handle the business that's being disputed. So CPA, certified public accountant, rather than just someone who can do the books, someone that knows accounting. You may start off that way if you can't afford a certified, but you want to ask when you're interviewing, are you a certified public accountant, so that I know you got my books, and if something's wrong, you can march on down to yourself and let me know what's going on. Okay.
Hmm. You definitely want to have someone who knows their stuff. Um, you still have to be careful with certified public accountants, because especially when it comes to your taxes, because if your taxes are filed wrong, they still fall on you. That's where a lot of business owners got into trouble too. And he's like, oh, this person owes a whole bunch of money, and now you see them closing up shop or even going to jail because the IRS was like, your name is on this. But if you have a good CPA, like Dr. Love said, they can go back and be like, okay, this is what we did, and we did this by the law because tax laws change every year.
Hmm.
They do. What was
Regularly.
what was right last year when you filed, there was a law passed, and now something can be different. So you want to make sure that you have that. If you have software like the QuickBooks self-employed, they have things linked in there to TurboTax, and TurboTax now gives you the option to pay a small fee to have a CPA either do your taxes or look over your taxes to protect you in the case of an audit.
Hmm.
So definitely a great suggestion of the CPA, having someone who really, really knows what they're doing. With everything, you want to do your homework to make sure that you really have someone that
Hmm.
knows what they're doing and experienced in your type of business. Because
Very
you can
important.
have CPAs, but they might specialize in other things, or if they're general, they still might not know what they need to know to handle your business. Um, so number 5, and this always comes up, have a balance, but I'm going to take it deeper: mind, body, and soul. Have all of that stuff connected so you can have that balance. So make sure you're eating healthy. That's one of the things that we as entrepreneurs, solopreneurs do. We don't necessarily eat the way we're supposed to eat. We could be going long stretches without eating, and then we're wondering why we passing out somewhere. I've done it. So
Take
I'm not
care of yourself.
judging anyone.
Hmm.
Or we might be on that 50th cup of coffee
Hmm.
because we're running so much. Taking that time to give your mind a break and doing those things, because we get into
Yeah, running
working
those long
all the
hours.
time.
Hmm.
And and especially if you're working your passion, you could be in there for days just doing whatever. And if you're single, it is easier, like especially if you don't have anyone living with you, you could be in there forever. But even if you have kids, like they're knocking on the door, mommy, I didn't eat. You want to you want to make sure that you have that balance.
Hmm.
Um and everything like that, because the bottom line is, if you fall out, then who's going to handle the business? Who's going to run the business? You're no good to anyone, your clients or anyone, if you're broke down. Okay. You want to make sure that your stress levels are in check, because one of they call that the silent killer. Stress will take you out of here. You'll have all kinds of things. You won't be able to sleep. You won't be able to think. You'll
Hmm.
have health conditions, panic attacks, all kinds of things can happen just because you're stressed. Take that time to meditate. Put some soft music on.
Hmm. Light
Um,
a candle.
light a candle. Oh my goodness, yes, light a candle. Dim some
Hmm.
lights. Um, and just
Yes.
have an intimate moment with yourself.
Yes.
And
Very
everything
important.
like that. And just clearing your thoughts, clearing your mind. Um, Thinking about positive things. Just having that. Some people are a fan. I am myself of praying. Sometimes I pray through the day.
Hmm.
Um, you know, depending
Yes.
on,
Yes.
excuse me, depending on what's going on, I might have to take a little break. Okay, I need to take some time out with the Lord,
Ain't no
um,
harm in it. That's
just
right.
to get myself together, because things happen. Case in point, I was saying today, out of nowhere, I'm working. All of a sudden, the lights flicker. Everything goes down.
Hmm.
It was a second, but it threw everything off. I had to reboot. Um, the computer, and then later on I went to turn the TV on and the TV was doing some funky stuff. I had to unplug it and plug it back in. I'm like,
Hmm.
what just happened? Like,
Hmm.
did somebody just send a bullet to my house? What is going on? Like, why is all
Yeah.
the electronics like all funky? Um, so things happen,
Mm.
during the day, that can cause you a lot of stress. I was happy that I wasn't in the middle of a meeting, or something, because I had to reboot my computer twice before it let me come on and even get on the internet. It was
Hmm.
kept saying, "Oh, can't connect to it." I'm like, why can't I connect to my internet? So common sense was like, all right, Trina, reboot your computer. Did it still wouldn't connect? I said, all right, let's try this one more time. Rebooted the computer and then it accepted it. And I was like, well, thank you, God. Um,
Mm. Thank you.
I was just like, did this thing, it was a second. I said, did it just kill everything? Like, what just happened? So
Yes. The great
things,
internet. Things happen. That's important.
and those things can cause stress. So you have to just take the time to think clearly, get your mind together. Again, say a little prayer, meditate a little bit, and get back up and running, to where you need to be. You could take advantage of some free marketing tools. Um, Facebook, for example, their peer groups. They have all kinds of groups, associations, and things like that, which I subscribe to. LinkedIn has groups and associations, that you can connect with to share what you're doing. And some groups will let you post events and things that you have, for free. And everything. Some will not, but we're talking about free promotion, so right now. And so, you want to take advantage of things like that. Um, So having an excellent marketing strategy, which you do want to have your marketing strategy in your business plan, having an excellent marketing strategy on a great service is better than having very little marketing on um, something that's like high caliber. You could have something that's $1,000 and have a little bit of marketing and not get sales. But you can have something that you sell for $25 and you have a decent marketing strategy and you can make $100,000 to $1 million.
Hmm.
So it all depends on what your strategy is. If you need help with that, you can hire a marketing professional, social media strategist, a marketing strategist, or if you have a campaign for a service, again, you can contract a great person that can do that short term marketing.
Hmm.
All right. Any comments on marketing?
Oh boy, when you said that, my mind just goes out to the entrepreneur when it comes down to marketing. And that's something that you really want to make sure that you get someone who's competent and does what Miss Katrina does, because she just talked about what was the word? It wasn't a la carte. You said what was the term you used for
Concierge.
concierge? Yes, concierge. When it comes to marketing, you need someone to hold your hand, because in marketing, everyone, and heavy business owners, everyone talks about their product, their marketing, their knowledge. But at the end of the day, if you don't have no one saying, when I finish your marketing program, I'm not done until you get some customers.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got someone who's in your corner. But as long as people say, when I'm done the marketing, whether you get customers or not, whether you get customers or not, say, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? You ought to be able to have a marketing plan, and I should be able to see customers coming into the door and giving me money as I pay you your fees. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so make sure you take your time with your marketing staff, whoever's going to do your advertising. Take time and make sure you get the right one with the right spirit that fits your business and
Mm-hmm.
what you need. That is so important, because I spend so much money, radio, newspaper, what I'm saying, social media, everything doesn't work for every business.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to find out what works for your business, what service you're in, what product you're selling, and then get the right marketing strategy, the right marketing message, and then the right marketing person. Very important. So that's
And
an
that's so
excellent point.
true. That's so true. And I've done the same thing. The yellow pages. Yes, I'm dating myself.
Yes, yes,
The online yellow pages as well as the
yes.
paper yellow pages, all these things. And they work well if you have a good strategy for it. The problem is, like, a lot of times when you were going out for it, it's like, oh, just post it and the people will come. Well, is your customer looking in the yellow pages?
Hmm.
Those are the things that you have to look at. Even when it comes to Facebook marketing and things like that, and I know that we're on Facebook on one of these platforms. Um, you have to be careful and strategize,
Yes.
because those dollars can add up really fast. I do agree that you should have a marketing person, because in corporate, they hire marketing staff to bring clients in, and that if you don't bring clients in, you don't have a job. And I've had people say, "Oh, we can market. Oh, we can't guarantee clients." Well, if you are as good as you say you are, I should have a return on my investment.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I got to see somebody.
I have to see more than just somebody. I need to see
Yes, sir.
somebody's.
Yes, 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 yes.
Um, especially for the amount that people are charging to do this. I,
Yes.
I I need to again see a return on my investment.
You got to see a return.
I should be getting more clients than what I paid. Getting
Yes.
funds back in clients than what I paid. That's
Hmm.
the whole point of me hiring you.
Yes.
Pepsi doesn't have a marketing department, and they're not bringing in sales.
That's right.
You need to have someone who is good at marketing and advertisement,
Hmm.
because just putting your name out there is okay, but how are they presenting it? What are you grabbing people's attention? Are they making your product look like the best product out there? I know when you have a commercial, look, even McDonald's know how to make their burgers look so tantalizing.
That's what you want to
They
study. McDonald's. McDonald's. Yes.
they are the most, well, I'm not going to go. We know we can't have McDonald's every day, but they make their burgers and their
Hmm.
fries look like
Hmm. Hmm.
caviar and
Hmm.
and
Picture perfect. Picture perfect.
and that's the job of the marketing and advertising places.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. And
And you know
so
what? You know what's interesting? You know, when they do marketing and advertising for McDonald's and any food company, they have food dressers.
yes, they
people
do.
who people who actually dress the food and
Hmm.
make the reds red, you know what I'm saying, and makes the
Hmm.
green, you know what I'm saying, make that's their job, is to dress and prep food to make it look a certain way, even if they got to color it in, even if they got to add food color, whatever they got to do, they have to make that food pretty so it does what it needs to do for the consumer to want it and spend their money for it. See,
It look
that's
better in the commercial than it does when you actually get the product.
You said that right. Cause my burger never looked like that. It be flat. It be flat with the wrap on it. He said, "What? Why my burger not stacked up like the one they showed me?"
But that's the job of that department. And
Yes.
so, and it's the same thing. Like, um, any product or service that you get, any commercial that you see will or should present your product or service in the best light. What are the features?
In the
And we
best
went
light.
into that in the plan. What services do you provide? What are the features of them?
Hmm.
Okay. And how do they present that in a visual way, in a audible way? Because you have commercials that are on radio. They're just as enticing as the commercials that you see with your eye.
Hmm.
This is what these people are paid to do. This is what they're skilled to do.
Hmm.
Yes, I'm a business person and I've done marketing, but I hire somebody that does what you do all day, every day for things.
Yeah.
I've had them take a look at my website and try to make that better with visuals and things, and all kinds of things. I've done it with flyers and things like that. Yes, it's still my business, it's still my concept, but you're having these people who are presented out there to present you well. You can
Mm-hmm.
have a concept and you just have somebody that's a wordsmith, and they'll take what you say and then they'll puff it up and do whatever and rewrite them like, oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing.
Make
They
it
was like,
sound
this
more
is,
better.
yeah. And they was like, but this is what you said.
Yes.
I just cleaned it up
Yes.
and everything. And so, you know, that's the things you have to do. That's part of being strategic. And we're going to stop here. We always have to stop in there, but I think this is a good round to this
We covered a
because
lot.
again, we're here to help you and give you some ideas, letting you know where you could go for assistance in your business. Because one of the things for entrepreneurs, they have a hard time finding those resources, or even when they go to other business owners, some of them are not as
Forthcoming.
Thank you, that's the word I was looking for, forthcoming with information. And I'm one, I know that everyone can eat at the table. Why? Because the customers that are going to see me are not going to be the customers that see you. It's not that I'm so great and you're so low, or vice versa. It's just that we speak to certain people. Our customers are our customers, and everything like that. So I am not intimidated that, oh, you're going to take my clients, because if you could take them, they weren't my clients.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the deal of it. And that is the truth, or whatever. Who's going to go see you is not going to be the person that goes see me, for many, 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 many reasons, and everything like that. So if you need help with your business, if you need help getting some of the things that we spoke on, you can reach out to me. The commercial came on. You can reach me at 888-712-4956 or info@ventureready.net, and we can help you get where you need to be on your road to success. Do you have any closing words, Doctor?
Oh, I think it was so important that that we just continue to remind business owners, be alive, be at your best, and just stay alive. That's what I just share with business owners. That's what I share with myself in the mornings. Be alive. John 10:10 said, I come that you may have life and
Yes.
have it more abundantly. Business owners, live.
Oop. Uh-oh. We had a technical problem there.
Yes.
I think the camera got excited.
Camera got excited. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's our cue. We are
That's
out
my cue.
today. And thank you for joining us.
Goodbye.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of High Tea with Me. To be a guest on the show, contact us via email info@ventureready.net. Thank you again, and see you next week.